Well, hello guys, welcome back. First, I want to thank you for the awesome support. You guys have been really sweet. I thought I was just, like totally out of touch, and then you guys have confirmed, no, that's really horrible. He did that, so thank you. And also, as you can tell, as you can see by the little color peeking out and the hair peeking out, this came in today. And this was actually like a really good touchstone because, excuse the messed up nails. This is the Arctic Fox. This is the vegan hair dye. And, I kept telling my friends, well, I'm not actually vegan, but, if I had a choice and I could afford it, and that's the important thing, if you have a choice and can afford it, I chose to go the cruelty-free route. Plus, they donate like 10% of their proceeds to 3 different animal funds, which you can go see. I was surprised there wasn't like a direct fund for foxes because, they have a fox right on the label, but hey, at least they're healthy animals. And there are no animal byproducts in here, and it was not tested on animals, which I don't believe in anyhow, because, an animal is not a human. We all react differently, and blah, and blah, and blah. I did not patch test. I did not strand test. But I know my skin, I was like, it will act up right away, and I'm not strand testing because I'm just jumping in here. So if it comes out a really funky, strange color, it is all on me. But it smells great. It smells like grapes, like grape bubble yum, and it looks fantastic. Now, why am I using like hair dye as an example? Because every day we have a choice to be, well, we're going around doing our stuff for us. We have a choice to be either compassionate, if we're able to. I understand sometimes it's harder to take a compassionate road, or, to be self-serving or, inhumane towards others. The video had really upset me. No, I did not watch it before anyone else asked. No, I could not. I read articles of people that watched it and were appalled, and I'm like, I don't need to watch it. I don't think this is funny. I don't think this is amusing or entertainment. And I was really upset because I thought so many young people look up to this individual, and they really don't have a sense of right and wrong. If you look back in your own life and you even look up to your teenage years where you thought you knew it all, you didn't quite know as much as you thought you did. None of us did. And you think, oh my God, and they have this person as their idol. And that, that really kind of frightened and appalled me. But as you guys have said, there are, every time a video like that comes out, there are at least, 10 times as much saying, this person is insane and shouldn't do this. Because let's admit it, if you saw the neighbor's kid, like, shocking dead animals, you would call the police. You would. You'd be like, oh my Lord, that is wrong. What is wrong with that child? And you would be calling the police, and you'd be calling mental health, even though you can't just put random people in mental health, but you would be calling for help. You'd be like, that is not normal or acceptable behavior. Not in this town. So yeah, I was really upset. I had worked with Lord Ganesha. I had dreams this morning. I could not remember them, but it wasn't like Ganesha or Loki or anyone came down in all their glory and like reminded me of anything. And it wasn't like the gods specially picked me out to like hold the line, even though like Lord Ganesha, or maybe it was Loki, had said, if somebody doesn't stand here, who's going to stand here? All these people will just walk all over the place. And yeah, there can be a lot of terrible content on YouTube. I was only seeing the bad, but there can be a lot of good, because most of the channels, I think why it appalled me so much, most of the channels I watch are good, decent, uplifting people. Since a lot of them are Christians, there are Christian overtones, but I'm okay with that as long as, I don't care what your religion is, as long as you don't hurt people with it. And so there are a lot of good, decent people, especially like in the doll community. And as I was looking up hair dyeing, hair dyeing products, there are a lot of sweethearts in the hair dyeing community and in the beauty community. And there are a lot of sweet, awesome people on YouTube, especially all of you people, because you were also like, what? He did what? I just, I had one of those moments you have in your life where I felt like I was so out of touch, and why am I letting this bother me, and why can't I be hard and not care? But we have to remember, at one time people kind of were like that. At one time there was no humane society. At one time there was no, International Wildlife Fund or anything else. People that felt it wasn't right had to stand up and form societies and say, no, you cannot do this. You cannot beat a horse that's serving you. You cannot starve it or not give it water or make it stand in a city street all day. This horse is an animal, and animals deserve love and compassion. So, it was kind of like a good reminder. The animals, they're called dumb animals in the fact that they can't speak. That's what dumb means, and old people speak. I should know. I'm an old person, and since they can't speak for themselves, even though we animal lovers will say yes, they speak, they cry, they chirp, they do all these wonderful things. But if you're not an animal person, you're not hearing it. They're not saying in your native language, please stop, you're hurting me, So it's something I'm really passionate about. Yes, I am an omnivore, but where I can do no harm, I don't. It doesn't mean I don't still have compassion and love for animals. And like with something like this, I had the opportunity, and it was a little bit of a sacrifice, but I'm like, it's okay. For a one-time thing, I will do it for the animals. And it gave to animals, which was really great, because this way I could give to a charity, 3 charities actually, and not have them like writing me letters every 5 minutes trying to make me feel bad because I have no more money for the animals. And that's the thing to remember. We can choose if we can afford to. And believe me, I know about it. To be compassionate towards like animals and to be compassionate towards others. Being sometimes has a history, like I do being points. They have a history now of trying to force people to give to charity, and that is the opposite end. That's just as harmful as saying there are charities. Forcing people to give is not right either. Like forcing people to give or guilting them into it or demanding they give or screaming at them or making them feel horrible, that's no good either. I try to live, like a decent life. I live in between. I found my body runs best on an omnivore diet. I was vegan for like 2 years, and my health went downhill, and I did the super vegan thing. I threw all the money in the world at that. That's probably why I'm impoverished now, and it just did not work for me. I eased into a vegetarian diet, even though I felt terrible and felt like a horrible person because, straight edge vegans, everybody else is scum, especially vegetarians, because vegetarians don't go far enough. And what I learned through all that was, I have to walk my own walk, and I can't judge other people. If you wear fur or don't wear fur, if you wear makeup tested on animals or don't, that's not my judgment call. That's for the person, the individual to make. If you eat animals I would not normally eat, it's really not my judgment call either. As long as they're treated humanely, then I'm like, hey, you eat what you want, but don't be cruel to it. Don't torture it before you eat it. So it kind of taught me balance, I think, and what's right for me, and what's right for me is not what's right for you. You may be full bore straight edge vegan who now absolutely hates me and is like foaming at the mouth because the plastic bag I'm wearing was not like vegan, or yeah, I get it, but it was just, you guys know how I am. If I can't go the whole way, I get depressed and sad, and I could never go the whole vegan way. I could just never make it. So I do the best I can, and that's kind of all Loki asks of us, that we find our path, we find what works for us naturally, we find what works best for our bodies, because every body is different, and we find out what works best for us, in our spirit, what makes us feel good. Does a mix feel good? Does just doing the best, not just doing the best we can, but doing the best we can naturally feel good? Or does always striving and going higher? Some people thrive on that, and we have to find our own path. So if Loki had any lesson in this for me, other than him back here snickering and saying I'm gonna look like Carrot Top, which I might, because you can see I got, like with my tremors, I got some dye. But I was afraid, because with the tremors, I was afraid when I was wiping and I wiped some off, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna go right into my hair and ruin all my hard work. So, but this will probably last. I have like a half bottle left. I don't know if I put enough on. I have no idea what I'm doing. But this color will probably last, if it lasts and doesn't wash right off my hair, because I've been told before that my hair will not take dye. It should probably last for like a month. with how often I wash my hair, because I'm not gonna go like dry wash it and not wash it and wash it in cold water and everything else. The initial wash I will do in cold water because that's what they recommend, but I'm not gonna be like taking cold showers and everything else. So it'll last maybe a month, maybe 2 weeks. It depends. It's different for everybody. I did it on natural hair. So, I did not want to bleach my hair. My hair's bad enough as it is. I was not going to bleach my hair. And this is super nourishing. Smells like grapes. Color of Heinz ketchup, you know. I was a little disappointed when I got it and I looked at the fox and I'm like, that fox is way more orange than he was on their if you go on their website, I will warn you, this is the fox. He looks orange. He actually looks pumpkin orange. And they did send me the poison, and on the website this is a bright red fox, and there's like Ronald McDonald red hair color behind him. So hopefully maybe they did not print this bottle that way, or that is the color and it's my monitor, but I don't know. We'll have to find out. Usually they tell you like the color of the fox is the color your hair will turn. So I may have just dyed my hair orange, but I don't think so because it is that red color. For those of you who want to stick around for the dye part, all I did was I put the plastic bag on because that's what Arctic Fox says. I did not even use a bowl or a brush. I just had the plastic gloves on my hands, and I had the cap off and I poured like a little bit onto my hand and I massaged it into my hair. I did the absolute best I could because even though she's totally worth it, I thought for $17 that I would have paid my hairdresser to work this in for me. I thought, well, she can either fix it for 17 or, I can buy another bottle. So I thought I must allow her to do this on my own because like right now it's like way too cold and icy for me to leave my house. So, for situations like that, what am I gonna do? I won't have her there, so I might as well learn to be independent and dye my own hair. So there you go. But yeah, guys, I do want to thank you for the support. I will be back. It really hurt me and it really kind of scared me for a bit that that's the new norm. And I know that's only one person. Please do not send me links to other upsetting videos. There's nothing I can do about it. YouTube themselves has to step up and say, hey, maybe we shouldn't have, borderline psychotic people on YouTube torturing dead animals and showing dead people and doing all this other stuff. It's one thing if it's staged and it's, it's horror and it's like all props. That would be very disturbing and creepy, but it would be a fantasy. But it's another thing if it's reality, and I'm like, wow, that is really sick. That is a young person that really needs to go get help and find out that just because you're rich and you have, everything given to you in the world, even though he'd probably be resentful if he was told that. He has to understand how much power he has and how many young lives he's influencing. And I'm not saying he has to become like super Christian or super kind or like go help the homeless or something, even though those would all be wonderful things to be. But he does have to realize that they are going to emulate what they see him do. And in his head, it might be a fantasy and there might be nothing wrong with it. But, that's a very terrible thing to teach young people, that, even abusing dead animals is okay and acceptable. I am one of those people that if I'm like walking and I see a poor dead animal on the road or something, I'm getting them off and I will like bury them under leaves because, I have compassion for them. I feel sorry for them because of us humans and our cars and everything else. They've suffered so much. And I'm like, they don't deserve to like become road pizza or something. So if I'm able to safely get out there, or if I find like a little bird, that's flown into something, I'll take her and put her somewhere. But, everyone's different. I'm not saying that makes me a wonderful person, by the way. That's just my natural reaction. The best moment in my life was when, I was sitting on my porch reading and I heard this bang and a little bird had flown into my house and I thought, oh no, oh no. And I picked her up and she was just limp, but something told me hold her head up and I held her head up. And I swear to the God, she was okay. And I was just like so thrilled. I guess she like knocked herself out for a little bit. She was okay. And I held her head up. I kept holding it up, and I'm like, oh God, I need to get her to a vet or something. But she was okay. She flew off on her own. It wasn't, it wasn't like her neck was broken or anything. She was okay. She was just stunned, and she just kind of looked at me, and then she flew off, and she was perfectly fine. And I'm like, oh, thank goddess. I felt terrible because she got hurt, because I have like my windows on the porch covered just so the birds know not to fly into them. And I have stuff in all my front windows, and I frosted like a lot of the windows, because I'm like, little birdies, please don't hurt yourselves, please. So yeah, I'm a big animal lover. I love animals. I won't keep animals in my home because I can't afford to take care of them properly, or I would have like cats and dogs and a snake, and have another tarantula, and have like all these other animals running around. It would be a zoo in here if I could afford it, but unfortunately I can't afford an animal right now. An animal companion. I can't afford to take them to the vet or anything. But yeah. So, just stick in there, and thank you again for all the wonderful support. You guys have been super kind. Um I put this in around like 1 o'clock. I'm gonna take out around 5. A lot of people leave it in for like 35 minutes or so, or 45 minutes, but I'm going the full Monty. Some people do leave this hair dye in overnight, but on the Hot Topic video, she said 4 hours. So I'm like, I'll try 4 hours. I don't think overnight would hurt me, but I'm thinking by the time I've had it in for, 4 hours, I'm gonna be done and want it out of my hair. So, um, hopefully it comes out okay. Hopefully, like, I have some color at all. I don't know, because, I'm a number 5 on the 1 to 10 scale. 1 being black, and 10 being like really light blonde, but I don't know. So we'll see. So again, thank you guys, for your compassion and your kindness. It really meant a lot to me, because I was feeling like I was like the only person left on the planet that, was getting upset over things. And I was asking Loki, I was like, what's wrong with me? Why am I crying? Why am I so upset? And I'm sorry some of you found out through me and now you're upset, but it's good to see that people still care for animals. And it reminded me of, I'm trying to close the video, I swear, but it reminded me of when we used to have pine trees out front. We used to have, my mom would feed the birds, and we'd have this little rat that would come and call Ratty. And first he was Ratty, and then we found out he was pregnant, so he was Mrs. Ratty. And she would come, and what the birds would not eat, she would pick up very delicately, and she would eat one little seed at a time. She'd sit there with it in her little paws, and then she'd take a little bath, and she would look around, and she never hurt anything. She never hurt any of the birds. She never hurt any other animals. She never tried to get in the house. She was quite happy to be a wild rat. So she would come in, and she would like get her little seed, and then she would go, and then stuff changed, so we didn't see Mrs. Ratty anymore. But she was like the sweetest little animal. She was so adorable. She was so kind. I live right next to the woods, so you get used to coexisting with mice and rats and snakes and all these other animals. And most animals are actually really sweet and kind. Yes, you do have to do something, unfortunately, if they invade your home. That's the point where you have to act. But other than that, you leave them alone, they will leave you alone. They aren't out to hurt you. They aren't out to, like, ruin your life. They just, they want to be free. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.